Hello, SpongeX here, and today I'm once again here to talk about Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl for Xbox, PlayStation, and pretty much every modern console now. And so, last year when it first came out, I did not shy away from sharing my honest opinion on the game, and to a lot of people's disappointment, I was honest and said I did not care for the game. I thought it was very underwhelming. I said how, like, there were just a lot of problems with the games, like the bad controls, the lack of voice acting, the really wonky animations, and the unpolishedness of the game. And so, since its release, though, there have been quite a few updates, but nothing that really won me over. It's like, oh, they added a few extra characters like Garfield, Shredder, and then they have a DLC pass coming up, which, currently you have the character XJ9 from My Life as a Teenage Robot, and we're also getting Hugh Neutron, surprisingly, along with Rocco from Rocco's Modern Life. But, of course, you gotta wait, like, many months later for him to come out. So, if I do decide to get the DLC, I'm gonna wait until all the characters are available. I am not in the mood of paying for it now and then waiting so long. You know, if I have to wait, I'm not buying until the wait's over. That's all I can say. I'm tired of people having to pay for season passes. It's like, either wait till it's all don't ask us for money until it's all finished. That's the way business is supposed to be. But they added alternate costumes, and the funny thing is a lot of the stuff that they did release was stuff that was shown to be in the game to begin with. It was like shown through hacks, basically. So, at least they didn't charge us for a lot of the stuff that was hidden in the game's data. So things like Garfield, Shredder, the stages and the items, that was all stuff that was found through data hacks, and now we can officially use them. But I think one of the biggest surprises just came out today, and the game got another big update. So, as I mentioned, the items were added, and so I'd say this is the minor part of the update, because the items, they're only used for the versus mode, so if you want to go through single player with items on, tough luck. And, unlike, Super Smash Bros., this game does not have a whole lot of items. I will admit, though, the items do add some variety to the levels. Like, there are some interesting power-ups. Like, I like how you have, like, a jar of jellyfish where you let them out and the jellyfish, just, like, start, attacking, like, the enemies nearby. And it kind of reminds me of the beehive from the later Super Smash Bros. Games. Or the wasp nest, I mean. And then, you also have, like, Squidward's clarinet and, you have the Reptar Wagon, which acts kind of like a Koopa shell. You have Tommy's Ball, which acts like the Super Smash Bros. Bumper. You got Sandy's Rocket, which acts like one of the like missile kind of projectiles from Smash Bros. And so you got not a whole lot of items, but for what they have, they serve their purpose. I kind of wish there were a little bit more. It feels like they focus too much on adding just items from SpongeBob. It's like there's barely any other items from other shows. There are a few there, though. Like, you got one from Avatar, which is Sokka's Boomerang. You got Arnold's Boombox, and otherwise, SpongeBob mostly dominates when it comes to the item. You got, like, the Anchor and Krabby Patties, and stuff like that. And so the items are fine. I just feel like there should have been more, and it would have been nice to get something similar to, like, the assist trophies, where, like, when you open them, a random character will pop out. And the closest thing you have to the assist trophy or Pokeballs are, like, you have, like I mentioned, you have the jellyfish jar, and then you also have the Fenton thermos, which lets out all the ghosts, and so you got a few items like it. Otherwise, you already know what's going to come out of them, so it's not randomized like the Pokeball or assist trophies, and that would have been nice to give characters who weren't playable a chance to shine. And so, okay, here's the big reason I wanted to do this video. The big drawback that drew more people into coming back to this game. They announced that the game now has voice acting programmed into the game. So, congratulations to those who were begging Nickelodeon to do that. I know it's really late, though, but I'm still surprised they managed to do it without charging us extra. But all the characters who were previously in the game now have voice acting, and most of them are reprised by their respective voice actors. Although there are a few cases where they weren't able to get the original actor, either because, the original voice passed away, or because they had trouble getting a hold of some of the celebrities. So, for instance, Tim Curry, unfortunately, is not Nigel Thornberry, and boy, is it noticeable, which is really unfortunate. And I can't remember her name, but the character from A Real Monster, since Christine Cavanaugh passed away years ago, they had to get someone else to voice her, and unfortunately, she doesn't do a very good job at capturing the spirit of the character.
Where's the link, ma'am?
Do you mind?
For the most part, it's nice to see a lot of the voice actors they got for this. You got the typical ones like that you would expect, like all the voice actors from SpongeBob. Tom Kenny, Bill Fagerbakke, Carolyn Lawrence. They're all there to reprise SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy, respectfully.
This sure don't look like any sport I've seen before.
I'm a good noodle.
And then you also have like the cast from the Loud House. You got you even have Tom Kenny reprising his role as Dog from Cat Dog. Although it's like, boy, he's been away from that character for so long because he sounds nothing like the character anymore. It almost sounds like someone else is voicing Dog, but it's Tom Kenny. It's just that he just can't capture that voice anymore. But they got Jim Cummings to reprise his role as both Cat, and they also got him to voice Shredder. And so you also got the original voice of Invader Zim back. That's great. And I even heard for like the DLC of Jenny Wakeman, she has her original voice actors too, which is great. And it was confirmed that even Hugh Neutron's voice actor will be reprising his role. So I can imagine it won't be hard to get Rocco's voice, since he's been in plenty of Nickelodeon stuff over the years. And hell, he was even in that recent disaster that was the live-action Fairly Odd Parents. So I'm sure Nickelodeon, it won't be hard for him to get a hold of him to reprise his role. And so, yeah, like, although the gameplay is still very mixed in my opinion. Like, I don't think the gameplay is very good. However, I will say the voice acting does make the game more tolerable.
Imagination!
The game was just so boring back then. It was bad enough the gameplay was so bad, but because there was just no interactions with the characters, you were expecting to hear SpongeBob or Sandy shout "Hi-ya" when they do like a karate attack. You're expecting like Patrick to make like "huh, huh" kind of noises or something. You got none of that, and so it just felt so dead silent, and it really took away from the experience. And all of a sudden, they got a bunch of the voice actors to record new lines. Well, I would say new lines. Really, they are doing lines they've already done before.
We'll teach you to be happy.
How is it that I have ghost powers, but you're the weird one?
And so, surprisingly, they didn't go the route of recycling voice clips. They did get them to record new but old lines. And I think one of the biggest surprises, though, was they got Billy West to reprise both Stimpy and Ren.
Do I look like a 112-year-old man to you?
We'll have none of your shenanigans.
Now, that is just such a shocker because it feels like every time Stimpy or Ren are in a video game, they can never get Billy West. They always got, like, Eric Bauza to play as Stimpy, and I think he even played Ren in, like, the baseball game or something like that. But, yeah, so the fact they actually got Billy West back is amazing, and he still sounds like Stimpy. And I know not everyone was a big fan of him voicing Ren, but I kind of think he sounds a little better as Ren nowadays compared to how he used to.
It is not I who am crazy. It is I who am mad.
Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I thought, like, you saw, like, him read some of the lines that John Kay originally read, like, quotes from the Space Madness episode, and it's like, honestly, I think it's definitely not the original performance, but it was a good read from him, though. So, yeah, I still think the game is a very flawed mess still, but I actually had more fun playing it this time. I just want to keep selecting each character, go through their story modes again, and watch all the dialogue that they have. And so, unfortunately, while the voice acting, it's passable, the thing that really bugs me, though, is the game still suffers when it comes to writing or the choice of quotes, because,
I'm from Kangaroo Island.
Leprechauns aren't real?
every time you go into story mode or arcade mode, before a battle, you have, like, the character spout out a quote from the show, and a lot of them are just, like, random quotes. They should have had quotes that felt suitable for, like, either the arena they're in or for the battle that they're about to take place in. Instead, it's like Nickelodeon trying to pander to meme culture and just quote, like, oh, that funny quote from an episode. So, it's like almost all of Ren's quotes are just quotes from a popular episode, Space Madness. And so, it's like, yeah, maybe those quotes made you laugh back then, but what does it have to do with this fight? It's like, what does this have to do with a fight of Ren and Stimpy versus someone like Garfield or something? And however, I do get a laugh when a lot of the times the quotes they choose for this game just don't add up. It's like one character says something random, and then the next character says something random, and it doesn't feel like a proper conversation. And so I get a laugh every time a character makes a comeback that actually does sound like they are responding to the character they're fighting.
Now who's ready for some magic?
I'd rather be eating pizza.
Not everyone has my commitment.
I want you jumping like hot grease on a skillet.
A savvy, the world's savviest crime fighter.
Enough talk.
Anyone is capable of great good and great evil.
I'm a good noodle.
Okay, it's not that I dislike you, it's just that I don't like you.
I won't let you take my ice cream bar away from me.
Whether it makes it sound like a character's getting annoyed with Lincoln Loud not shutting up, or someone, pointing out how Ren and Stimpy are weird or something. It's like, I get a laugh out of that. It's totally out of context, but it definitely, when you get those moments where it feels like the characters are flat out, like, insulting each other, it's for a good laugh. And so I had a few cases like that. Otherwise, you'll get really, awkward quotes, like, you'll have, like, Michelangelo saying, "Are leprechauns real?" It's like, what does that have to do? I don't know. It's just weird. The choice for quotes they picked for this game were still very questionable, and although it's great that we have voice acting, it still can't fix the game for its bad writing or bad choice of quotes. But otherwise, I'm surprised to say I actually enjoyed this game a little better than I did when I first played it. It's still a pretty mixed game, though, but I do think the voice acting adds a little more personality, and I do think the items will make multiplayer a little more fun, but otherwise, it's still far from a perfect game. It's still far from a good game, but it's not as bad as I first thought. It is nice that Nickelodeon did not give up on this game. They could have done what every other company does when they find out everyone's underwhelmed by a game. They could have just given up on it, kind of like how Sega does nowadays with Sonic the Hedgehog, but no, Nickelodeon listened to the criticism, and they actually, managed to fix it. They added DLC, they added free updates, and they added the voice acting. That was one of the biggest complaints the game had, and so, yeah, I guess that's really all I have to say for now, but, if you haven't played Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, or, if you played it before and weren't too impressed with it, maybe now would be a good time to give it a retry. You might be a little more impressed this time. Otherwise, I can't say it will absolutely win you over, because it's still a pretty mixed game, but I do think the voice acting does add a little more personality to this game. It makes it feel less barren and empty like it did before. So, anyways, that's all I have to show for now. Thank you for watching. See you next time, and have a great day.